Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United 1, Everton 1. Feels like a loss. It does feel like a loss because under no circumstances is that a good result. I'm sure we're going to get into discussions about Ollie and certain players and midfielders, etc. And I understand that. But ultimately, under no circumstances is a draw against Everton with the quality of players that we got. Is that a good result? It isn't a good result for Manchester United. It's a bad result. And when you add it into the whole, we're meant to be in a title race this year, we're not. And when you add it into the fact that we've taken 1 point from Aston Villa at home and Everton at home and a weakened Everton side at home, it's not good. Now, the scary thing for me is that the club beyond and above Solskjaer, the board, the owners, the commercial, the social, most of which aren't United fans anyway, they're all about the pound signs. I don't think they'll see this as a crisis. I don't think they see it as an issue because we're not run like a football club, we're run like a business. So they won't be looking at this in that sense. And that's the scary thing to me because that is not acceptable. This season is meant to be, and you'll notice I'm not ranting and raving, I'm talking factually here. This is meant to be about being in a title race. This is meant to be about being title contenders. We've taken 14 points from 21. Listen back to the fixtures. Leeds at home, Southampton away, Wolves away, Newcastle at home, West Ham away, Villa at home, Everton at home. We've dropped 7 points. How do you drop 7 points against those teams with the players that we've got? And let's not forget, Wednesday night was always going to be taken into context of the Premier League games sandwiching them. Villa loss, disappointing draw, jammy win against Villarreal. It's not good. It doesn't matter which way you swing, it ain't good. That's not good. And, the thing that's really disappointing for me, Sam says Ollie's got to go. I mean, we'll talk about that. But look, links in the video description for the player ratings. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average, star for your man of the match. I'm not going in for this ranting and raving stuff because I think sometimes it comes across as being a little bit too staged. I'm not going to stage it. I'm going to give it factually because I think actually the best opinion comes from when you're calm. And I think I'm not calm inside. I'm very frustrated because you invest a lot of time in supporting your football club and you invest a lot of passion and energy in supporting your football club. Look, if Tom Davies was confident, we'd lose that game. Confident and competent. I don't know why he passes it to Yerry Mina. That's a goal for Everton and they've given it up. The issue with United is there's an identity issue at Manchester United. There's a positive, but it doesn't deserve to be at the start of the video. I'll talk about the positive in a moment because I'm very frustrated because ultimately this team bottles finals and semi-finals. And look, I don't care about here we go again. We go again. They're all going to come out on Twitter. We go again. We fight back. This, that and the other. It means nothing when you've taken 1 point from 6 and when you've dropped 7 points from your first 21. It means nothing because fight back. Anyone can put a tweet out. What I want to see is there's no doubt in my mind we should have won that game today. This is not like Villarreal. This is why it's even look. Villarreal isn't disappointing. You win the game, you don't deserve it. So what? That's disappointing today because we should have won the game and we've bottled the game. And I notice this with United a lot. When we go 1-0 down, we switch on. Look at Villarreal and look at last season, Southampton and West Ham. We go goal behind and United are like, bang, we're on it. Boom, right? We go a goal up and we let a goal in and it's like a pin in a bubble. The bubble is burst. The heads drop. Up until that goal, we're fine. Everton look okay, but we look much better than Everton. We're moving the ball quickly. We're creating chances. We look absolutely fine. Remember, it was 1-0 to us when we took Cavani and Martial off for Sancho and Ronaldo. We're absolutely fine. The minute we let a goal in, everything goes out the window. The tempo, the rhythm, we're back to being Moments FC again. And look, I thought Sancho looked good when he came on, but there was no rhythm to the team. The fluidity that we had before Everton equalised just disappeared because the mental strength in that team ain't there. There's no leaders on that pitch, effectively. There's nobody leading that team. And look, all right, Harry Maguire's not playing, but it happens with Harry as well. There's no leadership from the touchline and there's no leadership on the team. When things go wrong, that team drops its head. And it's very, very frustrating to see. Moments FC put shift in, McFred favoritism, Ollie no ball, says Mohammed. I don't know, we played some better fast tempo football, but to get up to 4:30am to watch that for 90 minutes just got disappointing, says HTD. Atul says we can't rely on individual brilliance and last minute goals every week and that caught up with us today. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if we'd won that at the end. I really wouldn't. Ollie out, Fred out, signed the petition, says Mikael Roach. I wouldn't be surprised if we'd won that at the end, because it would have been the same as Villarreal. It would have been very lucky, Rahul. Thanks for joining the members club. It would have been very lucky to draw that, to win that game. I got a ping today on Shaw. So unnecessary to run across at the time he did, says Axel. Well, look, right, okay, let's address the elephant in the room here. The reason we lost that game is because of Ollie, and it's because of his obsession with McTominay and Fred. I thought McTominay and Fred in the first half moved the ball very well, but I did say defensively they worry me. Damari Gray skipped past both of them in the first half, and it was a great save by De Gea. In the second half, Damari Gray bounces McFred, wins the ball, and they go and score the goal. That goal is not on Luke Shaw. That goal is on an incompetent pretender playing as a CDM. He's been bounced more times than a bloody beach ball. I couldn't think of anything bouncier than Fred. He's been bounced more times than a beach ball. It was ridiculous defending. But it happened against Livermento, against Southampton. It happened against Wolves as well. He's got no strength, and he's playing as a CDM. But, what are we supposed to do? I mean, at the end of the day, Fred and McTominay today didn't play well. They played okay up until the goal. But the reality is, because they didn't play crap, everyone says they played well. The standards in that midfield are dropping because we're just desperate for them not to make mistakes. And unfortunately, we've lost that game because of Fred, and Ollie shouldn't have been picking Fred. The midfield should be Matic and Pogba. I don't know why Matic and Pogba are sat there in a tracksuit. They should be... Matic and Pogba should be our midfield. Tell me anything that Fred and McTominay did today that Matic and Pogba wouldn't have done. Yeah, they passed the ball forward. You're telling me Matic and Pogba wouldn't do that? They didn't defend particularly well. Well, Matic would do the job better than that. That's on Fred. That whole result is on Fred getting bounced by Damari Gray. A small number 10 bouncing a CDM. That's what that's about. So ultimately, it's about Ollie's obsession with McTominay and Fred. And it's such a shame. It's such a shame, because I'm not going to ignore the fact that the football we played today was better than we played in a long time. This is the positive. I actually watched United for an hour and thought, bloody hell, why don't we do this every week? We're moving the ball. It was very visible to me for the first hour that Ollie and the coaches had told everybody, from Fred to McTominay, from Wan-Bissaka to Lindelof, they'd literally told them, when they get the ball, move it quick. Like, there was no little pivots on the ball. There was no passing backwards. They moved the ball. Even Fred and McTominay, they moved the ball quickly, and the team looked better. And for the first time in a long time, I was enjoying watching United. I really was. I thought, there's a rhythm there. There's a system there. There's a chemistry there. And I was like, we win this game. We go into the international break. We've got some really tough games to come. The next 4 league games are Leicester, Liverpool, Spurs, Man City. Even if we'd won today, I still wouldn't have gone, we're in a title race. I would have gone, look, it's a good start. We played really well. And it was visibly from the coaching setup. But then what happens? It comes down to the individual favoritism of Ollie again. He sticks with this midfield that ain't good enough, and they've cost us the result. And look, Luke Shaw shouldn't get dragged across. He shouldn't do. But ultimately, Everton should create a shot on goal. As soon as Damari Gray wins that 50-50, they've got us on the back foot. They've got the numbers. They should be creating a chance. They should be. And they did. And it was they did it. They scored a goal. It was a good goal from Everton, but it comes from Fred. But the warning was there in the first half that Damari Gray had our midfield on toast. They couldn't deal with him. McTominay couldn't deal with him. Fred couldn't deal with him. And every time they broke with him, he was a problem. And ultimately, it led to a goal for them. And don't tell me that Ollie didn't realise that was the big mistake, because Ollie took Fred off straight away for Pogba. He realised that. And look, that's another thing. I thought the football for an hour was good. I thought the substitutions were ridiculously early, but was nice to see. And they were the right subs. Fred made the mistake. He took him off. He brought Pogba on. But the heads dropped. The heads had dropped at that point, and the team that nearly won it was actually Everton, and it wasn't us. Fred could have at least tackled and taken a card. What is wrong with him? Yeah, well, Sarash, somebody said Matic wouldn't have been quick enough to get with Damari Gray. Matic wouldn't have put himself in that situation. If he had been in that situation, he would have tripped him up on the halfway line and he would have took the yellow card. It's not like you were going to get a red. McFred is abysmal. Nothing new on weekend at Old Trafford now. Fred can't even manage a professional foul on the touchline, says Garbage. Wait, yeah, exactly. Well named. Will you read my first £10 super chat? I was the first to send one, says MMA. I'll have a look at it in a bit. Takedown, yeah. Ollie's obsession with picking midfielders who can't pick out a pass will be the downfall of this team. You know what, Addy? I'm not even going to have a pop at McTominay and Fred for their passing today. I called it out at half time. I said, actually, their passing's been better. They worry me defensively. People talk about McTominay and Fred quite rightly because the tempo is slow, their passing's not good. But people sleep on the fact that they're not good defensively. If you look at Everton last season, was it Rodriguez scored because Fred's not picked him up in the box? They're not very good defensively, McTominay and Fred. They just run around a lot. They're not good defensively. They don't pick the runners up. They're not very good. They get skinned a lot. Like, people assume that McTominay and Fred's issue is their passing ability. All right. The passing ability has been a problem. It was okay today. But they're not good. Let's not pretend they're Kante or Fabinho. They're not good defensively. That's what's cost us today. And also, I thought McTominay was dead on his feet for the last half an hour. He was knackered. He disappeared. 3 games in a week McTominay's played. He's just come back from a major operation on his groin. He's had a month off. And Ollie picks him every game for the last week. Like, Matic hasn't been used today. Donny's now gone 4 games. 4 games. 360 minutes Donny van der Beek has not kicked a ball for Manchester United, despite his last appearance getting man of the match. Matic came on for 15 minutes against Villarreal, was one of the best players on the pitch, doesn't kick a ball. Jesse Lingard, game changer against West Ham and Villarreal, doesn't kick a ball. Like, it's chaotic. It's chaotic, but I'm telling you now, whatever you think about Ollie, whatever you think about this team, we've taken 14 points from 21 and we've not played anyone decent. Everton had no strikers today. Like, that is a weak Everton side, and we've drawn 1-1 with them. We lost to Villa. We drew with Southampton. We've dropped 7 points. We're going to be adrift. We're going to be adrift. If Arsenal win today, they're 2 points behind us. That's how bad our start to the season is now becoming. Arsenal lost their first 3 games. If they beat Brighton today, they're 2 points behind us. 2 points behind us. We're meant to be in a title race. We're getting dragged into a top 4 race. It's not good. It's not good. And look, there's no point saying Ollie in or Ollie out, because the reality is it's not even a conversation to have, because the club aren't thinking like that. It's a fan discussion, I agree. And I've been very interested to see what people like Adam and Beth have got to say at the ground and how the fans are reacting at the ground, because, you know, ultimately, there's no excuse there. I can't find an excuse. There is no excuse not to win that game, especially when you have to win that game. And look, you know, Ollie stood on the sideline smiling in the last minute. And I'm like, it's just the wrong message. I know he doesn't want to do it, but it's the wrong message. With 10 minutes to go, he should be chucking the water bottles, shouting at the players. There's no urgency in that team. Rahul says, what's the attacking game plan? Rely on players to dribble. Ollie needs to gut his backroom staff. Need a team of elite tacticians, not Carrick and the boys, says JC. I cannot believe I woke up at 4 a.m. just to watch another abysmal performance, says Oz. And also, I coach under 19s and they know you can make the tactical foul there. How come Fred doesn't? We escaped with a point today. This is getting old fast, says Rob Costello. And also, let's have a look. There was a couple of other things I wanted to bring in as well. I mean, look, in relation to the game, let's not forget one of the big things before we do the player ratings. But in relation to the game, I just want to say... he made a lot of changes today. And if the result didn't go our way, you've got to look at those changes. Funnily enough, I don't think the changes cost us the game at all. Martial scored the goal. I presume Cavani came off because he was injured. Because if he wasn't injured, why did Cavani come off? Like, I don't really understand why you make subs at 55 minutes for a player that's playing well. Martial had a knock. He had to come off. I hope Cavani had a knock, because he shouldn't have been brought off after 55 minutes. He wasn't having a bad game. And that, to me, if Cavani's been took off without a knock, and I don't know if anybody knows whether Cavani had a knock, I'm presuming he had a knock, because if Cavani was taken off after 55 minutes despite having a good game, that seems to me like that's a promise to Cristiano, I'll definitely give you 35 minutes. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that. But I think Cavani had a knock, which is why he came off, and Martial certainly did as well. So you can't argue with bringing Ronaldo and Sancho on for 2 players that have got a knock. So I don't really think the rotation... I mean, Lindelof was always going to play. Obviously, Martial and Cavani played was a bit of a surprise. But for me, it comes down to the same thing again. It wasn't Martial or Cavani's starting the game that meant that we didn't win the game. It's the same old reason we didn't. It wasn't Lindelof's reason we didn't win the game either. So his team selection that might have surprised people wasn't why we didn't win the game. We didn't win the game because of McTominay and Fred again. It's as simple as that. And I'll say it with a straight, calm face. Tell me why we didn't win that game. Well, it's because of McTominay and Fred. Because we didn't win the midfield battle again. And we didn't win the midfield battle again. It became a very 50-50 game after the first 10 minutes. I felt we should have won the game, but I don't think we dominated Everton, and I don't think we won the midfield battle. I think Decore and Alan gave as much as they did. So ultimately, I said it after the game on Wednesday, I wanted to see Matic start. I thought, forget the Donny stuff. I'm not talking about Donny here. I wanted to see Matic start this game, and he didn't. He went with McTominay and Fred, and we've not won. And at some point, you've got to look at there's a very consistent theme here. We're at the start of an international break, right? We've got 21 points we could have won, and we've taken 14. That means we've dropped 7 points. That means 33% of our points have been dropped. That's a very large percentage when you look at the games we've played. And you've got to look at it like this calmly, because if you don't look at it calmly, you're going to wander into areas and people are going to say, oh, you're just losing your shit, you're not credible, this, that and the other. Look at it calmly, right? I'll repeat again. Home game against Leeds, home game against Newcastle, home game against Villa, home game against Everton, away game against Southampton, away game against Wolves, away game against West Ham. We've had 4 home games, 3 away games. We should be winning all of them, and we've dropped 7 points. That's not acceptable. Why have we dropped 7 points, everybody? We don't create enough chances, the football's not been good enough, and the tempo's been slow for most of them. What's another current theme? He's picked McTominay and Fred for most of those games and not picked Matic and Pogba or whatever else you want. We've dropped 7 points because of his midfield. It's not their fault they get picked. Ollie picks them. Ollie's obsessed with them. Ollie said this week, I like their energy, desire and trust. Well, you can't trust them, and energy and desire should come as a standard. We're dropping points because he's obsessed with Duracell bunnies in his midfield. He could have picked Matic and Pogba today. I'm telling you now, Klopp, Pep, Tuchel would not pick McTominay and Fred over Pogba, Matic. And maybe not Donny, but certainly not Matic and Pogba. He's obsessed with this midfield that ain't good enough, and we've dropped 7 points from 21 because of it. And that's on Ollie. And everybody knows it. And you get Rio Ferdinand saying, I'd pick Pogba and Fred. You get Gary Neville saying, I'd pick McTominay and Pogba. You get Paul Ince saying, I'd go Matic and Pogba. Nobody picks McFred except Ollie, and it's cost us the points today. I'm not bothered. I don't mind if he picks Fred and Pogba. I don't mind if he picks McTominay and Matic. But Fred and McTominay doesn't work. And he's been told this for a long time. And ultimately, Ollie can't come out and say I'm unlucky. 1 point from 6 at home to Villa and Everton is crap. And it is. You know it is. We'll bounce back on the pitch under Ollie. We will bounce back on social media. Not even disappointed. We know we'll drop points. Moments FC. Moments running out, says DK. Well, I want to do the player ratings now. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right hand corner, and make sure you smash a like on the video. Let's see if we can get 5,000 likes. We're going to do the player ratings now. I was fuming when I saw Ollie smiling, says Big Nuts. Look, ultimately, in a sentence or two, that's some of the best football we played this season for an hour. But I'd like to have played that style of football with Matic and Pogba, because we'd have won the game. If we played like that with Matic and Pogba, we'd win the game, because there's a massive step up in ability from Fred and McTominay to Matic and Pogba, and that's why we didn't win the game. The reason we didn't win was because of Ollie. The frustrating thing is we actually had a bit of a system. We actually looked a little bit better. But it's just very, very frustrating, as I said. Duncan says, I love Shaw, but he was abysmal today. Even ignoring the equaliser, his positioning, passing and tackling were awful all game. Did he even overlap once, says Duncan. You wonder whether Luke Shaw was fit, mate. You know, on a serious level. Because Luke Shaw wasn't good today. He didn't play midweek. He had an injury. He's been ill. We know Tellez has got a knock. I don't know whether Tellez was on the bench, actually. I presume he was. But I don't think Luke Shaw looked fit today. McFred cost us again. It's an Ollie and his favoritism. So much need for energy and passion. Got bullied. Needed Matic, says Sharanga. Always been supporter of Ollie, but we always pick Fred over Van der Beek and Matic. We'll never win the midfield battle anytime soon. And thoughts on going for Kessie in January, says Ellie. Well, look, we can go for Kessie in January if you want to. We're not going to... He's not going to help us out next week, is he? Or after the international break. And remember, after the international break, Leicester away, another good midfield. Liverpool at home, another good midfield. Spurs, another good midfield. Like, they've got a better midfield than us. Then Man City. I wonder what's going to happen in the next 4 games. Thoughts, welcome to the Members Club MMA Takedown, and until Ollie leaves, we will never play the type of football our squad is capable of playing. Ollie out now, says Jermaine. Well, that's all going to kick off again, isn't it? So, look, let's do the player ratings. You can catch up, by the way, links in the video description. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. So, first of all, we've got David De Gea. I think David De Gea for me is... a 7 for me, David De Gea today. Didn't do anything wrong on the goal. Made a very good save in the first half. Actually didn't have a lot to do, David De Gea, today, but he made the big save when we needed him to. Couldn't do anything on the goal. Distribution was fantastic again. I just feel sorry for De Gea and Varane because they keep conceding goals that have got nothing to do with them, but that's going to happen. Defending is as a team. Like, people don't realise that mistake on the halfway line from Fred, people think, well, we should make a tackle after that. You can't always make a tackle after that. Look at the Newcastle game. We can't make a tackle after that Maguire mistake on the halfway line. De Gea can't save everything. It's a bottom corner shot. Like, you know, so a 7 for me. Again, I think Wan-Bissaka was a 7 as well. I mean, to be honest, it's an early shout, but I'm going to give him man of the match because I don't think anybody was better than Wan-Bissaka, and he was brilliant in the first half. And again, doesn't deserve to be on a team that doesn't win. I thought Wan-Bissaka played really, really well. And again, I'd give Varane a 7. I thought Varane played really well. Like, you know, if we win that game 2-0, we're talking about Wan-Bissaka, we're talking about De Gea, we're talking about Varane. We're not talking about them because we've drawn, but it's not their fault we've drawn. They actually played well as a defensive 3. But it's on that midfield again, isn't it? Lindelof, probably give him a 6. You know, he looked a bit suspect against Amari Gray, got away with it a couple of times. But look, Maguire's injured, Lindelof's doing a job for us. But yeah, I'd give him an average 6. He wasn't bad. Yeah, I agree. Luke Shaw, I'll give him a 5 today. It was below average. The goal is on Fred, but he gets sucked in. The goal that should have won the game for Everton, where is he? Like, where is our left side of the defence? Luke Shaw should be at left back, and Tom Davies is completely free. He should score. They should win the game. That would have been on Luke Shaw. So look, he was below average today. I suspect he's not fit. You know, I suspect he's not fit. But look, Luke Shaw is one of the best left backs in Europe. No doubt about it. Yeah, he's struggling a little bit at the moment, but I don't think he was fit today. Fred, you know what? You win that game 2-0, and you're like, well, at the end of the day, we've done enough. He's done all right. I probably would have given Fred maybe a 6 today, an average, you know, which is better than normal. But I've got to give him. It's such a bad mistake. It's got to be a 4 because you can't get bounced like that. You can't. And it's a shame. It's a real big shame. But he shouldn't be starting the game. McTominay, probably a 5.5, so I'll give him a 6. I don't think McTominay did a lot wrong, but I think it's an ability thing. Like, you know, average McTominay is not the same as an average Matic. An average Matic is going to be a good performance. An average McTominay is going to be an average McTominay. And he fell away in the last half an hour. He was clearly not fit enough to play 90 minutes. I don't think he was fit enough to play 90 minutes last week, and I don't think he's fit enough to play 90 minutes now. But look, he dropped his head. His head dropped the minute Fred came off. You know, Fred made that mistake. You know, it was an okay performance from McTominay to me. If you want to give him a 4 or a 5, I get it. But, you know, I'm tired. I'm tired of running these lads down. You know, realistically, it's Ollie who picks them. It's Ollie who's benching Matic. It's Ollie who's benching Pogba. It's Ollie who's benching Donny. Scott McTominay's not going in and going, Scooby-Doo, put me in midfield, you. You know, he's not. He's not picking himself. He's not picking himself. Bruno, look, people are going to give Bruno a low score. I actually think, well, Bruno got an assist. He played some fantastic balls. You know, we win that game, and I think Bruno's getting an 8. But I think I'll give him a 6 because we haven't won the game, and his head dropped as well. Greenwood, he's such a difficult player because he's such a great talent. But at the end of the day, he puts a delightful cross in the first half. Nobody reads it. Second half is very quiet, 6. Martial, 6. I know people are going to give him a higher score, but to be honest with you, I've got to be honest, Martial, apart from the goal, hardly got the ball. He didn't. He hardly got the ball. We hardly used him. So, look, he scored a goal. I think I'd give him an average score. If you want to give him a higher score, that's fine. I don't think he played bad, but I don't think we got him the ball enough. And the same with Cavani. 6. Didn't get him the ball enough. I don't think Cavani played bad, but it's a 6. To be fair, Sancho, look, he should do a lot better with that chance at the end. It's a terrible finish, but you know what? He was one of the most exciting players on the pitch, so I'll give him a 7. I genuinely thought Sancho played well when he came on. I'd like to see him playing off the right-hand side. It wasn't, you know what? We've drawn the game. It's not a terrible... Nobody... You know, I've got to try and be level-headed here. We didn't have loads of bad performances. We should win that game. But again, it's just come down to the weak midfield he's put in there. Do Everton score if Fred takes that foul? Probably not. Like, we probably go on and win the game 1 or 2-0. So there wasn't bad performances apart from 1 or 2. And I think most of it comes down to the manager, unfortunately. His obsession with that midfield has cost us again. Ronaldo, an average 6. Yeah, you know... Should he be on the bench? I don't know. You know, when you bench Ronaldo and you don't win, it doesn't look good. Pogba, probably a 6. Should have started as well. Ollie, begrudgingly, I don't want to give him a low score, but ultimately, why didn't we win a game we should have won? For me, it's because of the midfield obsession again. He's got Matic and Pogba on his bench. He's benching Matic and Pogba to play Fred and McTominay. I don't know many managers in the world that would do that. So I've got to mark Ollie down. I've got to give him a 4. I have to, because ultimately I'm looking at this now, and I think when you hit an international break, it's a time to survey the scene. We have got 14 points out of 21. We have dropped 7 points. We have taken 1 point from 6 at home to Villa and Everton. This is not even top 4 form. Our form at the moment is 5th or 6th. We're meant to be in a title race. We're not even in 4th place form. It's poor form. It's a results business. And I'm not covering the cracks. Wednesday night was papering the cracks. I'm not papering the cracks. We should have won that game. Why didn't we win the game? Because he's obsessed with McFred. And I don't think McTominay was that bad. I thought McTominay was okay. But my question is this. Would you rather play McTominay or Matic? Would you rather play Pogba or Fred? That's on the manager. It's not even on Fred and McTominay. They're not as good as the players that should be playing. And it's cost us the result today. So it's on Ollie, I'm afraid. Your man of the match is Anthony Martial. Well, there you go. Well done. What a shock. Anthony Martial is your man of the match. So there you go. I can tell you that Anthony Martial got 34% of the vote. Aaron Wan-Bissaka got 20% of the vote. David De Gea got 18% of the vote. And then it was shared out amongst everyone else. So Anthony Martial is your man of the match. Make sure you smash a like on the video, by the way. But Anthony Martial is your man of the match. It's a dross. It feels like a loss. We've now got 2 weeks to, establish what we're going to do. And then I'm worried. Can I just say this? I am worried about where we are at Manchester United now, because we've already given up a lot of points. And now we're going into a period of time where we've got some really difficult games to come. Now, I expected to win today, and we didn't. Let's see what everyone's saying on the fan forum. Apparently, Jay's going absolutely crazy. Check it out. Link. It's going to push you over there. Get over to the fan forum and have your say.